What is the best recruiting strategy right now? And this is a common question that I'm sure you're asking yourself if you clicked on the title of this video. And I've worked with the top sales leaders across almost every single industry now, from pest control to solar to alarms to insurance. We've helped add on over $10 million in monthly revenue to sales teams through social media. And every single person that I meet with is doing some type of social media strategy. Common things that I see when people are doing social media recruiting is they're getting lower quality guys, or their videos aren't getting any views. They're talking about really valuable stuff and nobody's listening. Everyone's missing 4 things. And these 4 things are based off the fundamentals of conversion psychology. This isn't some, trick on a YouTube video for me to get you to stay longer on the video. This is the core pillars of converting anyone online, not just in recruiting, not just in online sales or e-com. It is the core pillars to converting anyone. And if you don't have this understanding, you will never have success in converting anyone at a high rate, let alone quality people at a high rate. So what I'm going to cover in the next couple of minutes is exactly how to implement the 4 pillars of conversion, so that as a sales leader, you can walk away from this video feeling more like a marketer than you ever have before. And I'm going to dumb it down and make it as simple as possible so this is actionable and you can start thinking in your head how you could implement this strategy today. So the way that I want to break these 4 things down, starting off with pillar 1, is reach. We have to get in front of a large group of people. Now, that doesn't mean going viral. It doesn't mean doing TikTok dances. It means making content that is relatable and widely shareable to the types of people that you would want to recruit. And the best way to identify who do I want to recruit, just think about yourself. Break yourself down from top to bottom. Are you the youngest? Are you the middle? Are you the oldest? Are you an A-type or a B-type personality? Are you into hunting and fishing? Or are you into frat life and sports? It doesn't matter what your persona is. It just matters what part of that persona do you want to be the common ground for the type of people that you're trying to bring in. So if you want to target fishers, we can target fishers. If you want to target wrestlers, we can target wrestlers. If you want to target guys that wake up at 4 a.m. and do cold baths and cold showers, we can do that too. But you've got to pick that. So I want you to take a pen and paper or your phone out or whatever you have as a note section and write down 4 things about you that you could talk about all day long that are widely relatable to the type of guy that you would want to recruit. For this example, we're going to use wrestling. So if I make wrestling content, you're probably asking yourself, well, how does that help me recruit? How does that help me convert? It doesn't yet. It will. You just got to give me a second. So I make content that's about wrestlers. I had one client that we helped get over 30 guys in the matter of a month. We went from 1,000 to almost 8,000 followers now. Never done content before. Super unnatural on camera in the beginning. His name was Killian Cardinale. And when Killian started making videos, that's exactly what we did. He wanted to target wrestlers. So when we started targeting wrestlers, it was pretty simple. All we have to do is make videos that are widely relatable to them. So for example, I'll show you right here. So I've got Killian's account, right, pulled up here. First thing we're going to take a look at is his reach content. So the stuff that is literally created to be very widely relatable, something that his target demographics that he would eventually want to recruit out of would share onto their page. This is going to tell the algorithm, hey, these types of people interact with this creator. And throughout this strategy, I'm going to show you why that matters, but let's watch a video really quick. This is a great example. Now, the funniest part about that video is the stitch that he did at the end. He actually pulled from one of the videos that I did, and I pulled that from one of the videos that somebody else did. So we definitely work together inside of my inner circle. But as you can see, POV coach says, stick to the basics, and you rip something like this. Clearly not a basic. Every single wrestler, I'm sure, that is just super, super relatable. They don't listen to their coach and they do something crazy, but it works. I feel like every wrestler's probably done that sometime in their life. And all Killian had to do was identify that relatable thing that every wrestler has done or felt before, and then use a proven framework for a video, such as this Stitch video right here, post it up, and you guys see the results. It's pretty clear and straightforward with top of funnel or reach content. But we get a bunch of views. And now how do we connect with them? How do we bring these guys in? How do we show them who we are? Because this isn't going to recruit people or even really build much of a connection with your audience. It's just relatable and shareable. So that's where we get into our connection point in the conversion funnel. The way that we do connection content is storytelling. That is the easiest. There's other ways to do it that I teach. There's a lot of ways to do it, but storytelling is by far the easiest, and it provides the most connection and value to the connection. The reason being, you have to show your climb in entrepreneurship. You have to show how you went, in Killian's example, from wrestling to sales and being successful in it. Because if they cannot see themselves in your climb and in your story, they're not going to follow you. They're going to follow somebody else that was able to do that. Now, with storytelling videos, I'm not going to dive into the weeds of exactly how to do the best frameworks for storytelling, how to get a lot of views, but me and Killian did one. And I want to be clear, Killian wanted to recruit wrestlers, but he also was very transparent with me about not wanting to recruit squares. He was willing to go in the gray area a little bit. He was willing to talk about some stupid stuff that he'd done, as long as it had real meaning behind it. So I'll show you guys what that looks like.
I had a 4.0 and a criminal record at the same time. Let me explain. During the day, I was the perfect student athlete, showing up to every practice, every lift, all while maintaining a 4.0 while competing at the highest level. But when the sun went down, different person. I'm talking blacking out on a Tuesday, accidentally breaking into someone's apartment, dropping a stop sign on a cop's face, and somehow talking my way out of it. I had two completely different versions of me, and for the longest time, I thought that made me broken. Now I realize it made me dangerous, because I learned how to flip the switch, how to lock in when it matters, how to go from chaos to complete discipline in a matter of seconds. Most people are stuck in the middle. They've never fully locked in because they've never felt what it's like to let loose completely either. Just floating through life at 60%. I learned to live at 100% in both directions, and that's what gave me an edge. The discipline to grind, the fearlessness to take risks, the ability to switch between them on command. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to know when to flip the switch.
Awesome. So when I talk about connection, we are trying to show that we are just like the type of guys that we're trying to recruit. We're trying to show them those commonalities. We're trying to show them that we are very similar to how they are, because that common connection is what innately builds trust in human beings. When they feel connected to you, they naturally trust you more. But we want to elaborate on that trust. We don't just want them to trust in us and have a connection with us, but we want them to trust in the climb and the business that we're in now. So the next video I'm going to show you is a trust building video. And this is still speaking to those wrestlers that he made videos for, he wanted to target. And as you see the videos that he makes, there's perfect alignment in the reason he's grabbing their attention. The common ground is consistent through almost every single video. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here.
When you're a two-time All-American and you're still broke at 24, you realize pretty quickly that those trophies are not going to pay your rent. I spent 6 years wrestling Division I, Big 12 champion, Scholar All-American. I spent my entire life dedicated to being the best. And when the lights turned off, I didn't have a plan, I didn't have any money, I didn't know who I was outside of wrestling. So I did the only thing that felt familiar. I found something where effort mattered more than just credentials. Door-to-door sales. My first summer wasn't anything glorious, $60,000 in revenue, maybe 10, 15 grand in my pocket, but I found something that I hadn't felt since wrestling, which was that I could get better. And second summer, $190,000 in revenue. Third, $280,000. For the first time in my life, I earned 6 figures in commission. And not because someone handed it to me, but because I rebuilt myself from scratch. I'm not trying to recruit everyone. I'm building something for people who feel like they're meant for more, but don't know where to put that fire after sports, school, or whatever chapter they're leading. If you're competitive, coachable, and you're tired of watching other people live the life you want, you'll find me.
So that was a storytelling video that showed the climb and his internal dialogue and the way that he moved from wrestling to getting into sales. And we did it very strategically. You notice on the production quality, by the way, I mean, this video sucks. On paper, the quality of this video and just the production itself sucked. But the B-roll, the way that he did a visual hook jumping over the couch, and the script that he ran was so strong that nobody cared about the production quality. So just to break a limiting belief before we keep going, you don't need professional equipment. You don't need professional cameras and all the fancy stuff like I have right behind me. If you actually know what makes videos do good and perform on the algorithm, perform on somebody's For You page, then you know you don't need professional equipment. But to deep dive into this video, it's very simple why this worked. He built a pillar of connection through wrestling. He established authority as a wrestler. And then he talked about the internal dialogue and the pain with not being able to pay the bills after getting 2 All-American trophies, still doesn't pay the bills, right? So he walks through what his internal dialogue and process of getting into sales was. He didn't oversell it. He didn't over glamorize it. And he didn't even hard sell the conversion. But a majority of this video was connection and trust. Trust in him. Trust that the person who's watching his content that's been through these pillars of content can see themselves in that same story. They can see that as a real and potential step-by-step process that they could also follow, and they believe in it more because he did it right in front of their face. They have a lot of connection built with this guy, and then they saw how he achieved success, not over glamorizing it. And that builds even more trust, not only in Killian, but also in the method in which he is finding success. So now we go to the final piece, which is conversion. I want to be very clear in saying this. At this point, when this lead has come through, they don't feel like they're getting sold anymore. They don't feel like they're getting recruited. They're honestly interested in the opportunity. They're interested in what he's doing and how they could potentially do it too. So I'm going to show you what that looks like with a final piece of content from Killian. Alrighty, so this video right here, selfie mode video, so nothing special.
If you're a wrestler but you're broke and you're not really sure what you want to do after wrestling, you just know you want to make a lot of money and not sit in a cubicle all day, here's what you got to realize. The corporate world just doesn't reward wrestlers. You're literally wired to work harder than somebody else. If you actually want success in business, then your job needs to reflect that. Personally, after getting my master's degree, for some reason I got into door-to-door sales, literally selling pest control. And bro, it's not glamorous, it's hard, I have to work my ass off. Sales did not come naturally. But by my third summer, and yes, I said summer, we all worked the entire year, I produced over $250,000 in revenue. And you can literally do the same thing. Just comment transition below, and I'll show you how to start.
So what he just did in that video is pretty simple. It's called IBM, Identity-Based Marketing. This is what the political campaigns do. Make America Great Again. They're shifting the entire identity of the person. When he talked about, if you're a wrestler, you weren't made for corporate America, or corporate America just doesn't award wrestlers. It's not meant for them. And that identity shift, that light bulb moment after already seeing this guy as an authority, already trusting him, already liking him, already having so much common ground. At this point, this guy's primed for conversion. And all we do at the end of the video is add in a keyword. After they comment that keyword, we track what videos are bringing in the most leads. And then obviously, once they go through the recruiting process, the highest quality leads, so that we can go back to the drawing board and start making more content that is converting at the highest rate. So when you can reach the audience that you want to recruit from, build a connection with them, build trust and authority with those guys, then and only then open up the door for an opportunity. Talk about the industry that you're in. That's how you recruit on social media. Trying to just talk about the opportunity, trying to recruit right off the bat, trying to do all the things that everybody does wrong on social media right now in the recruiting space is going to be the exact same reason that somebody that is a quarter of the sales leader that you are is going to out-recruit you. Not because they're more qualified, not because they're a better sales trainer, a better sales leader, not because they have better systems, better anything other than marketing. And if you do not get ahead on social media right now in the recruiting space, you're going to be like companies that said no to the internet in the late 90s. You will get beat, you will fall behind. So implement these strategies now. And if executing seems clouded, for one, I'm going to give you a ton more free value if you subscribe to me. I'm not looking to monetize here. I'm looking to win your business. Because down below, whether I have won your business now or later, if you click the subscribe button or even keep scrolling a little bit further, I've got a link where you can apply to work with our company. I will help you build out a custom social media strategy to market yourself just like we did for Killian and like we've done for over 50 other sales organizations. So anyway, I'm going to start rambling. Have a nice day.